The debt reimbursement, which is going to be $100 million this year, and it goes up. Looks like it keeps going until we have $1.1 billion between 2015 and 2034. We heard from the commissioner, and he said that the state is obligated to continue the program. We heard from Ledge Legal, and they said that is the last item in the capital budget, and they are not obligated to fund that amount. Do you know which one is correct?
The statute reads that if there's not a full appropriation to cover all of the requests, it will be reduced pro rata. So that tells me that the statute provides for something less than 100% reimbursement on that program.
Okay. And then a follow-up question. The cigarette tax that is collected by the state of Alaska prior to the Knowles administration went into something called a school maintenance fund. And looking out at 2016, 2017, about the amount we collect in taxes would cover pretty much all of those maintenance projects. What is the status of that fund? It seems to just kind of went into a gray area when we did the tobacco settlement. Is that a fund that DEED can tap to pay for the school maintenance projects like it was intended to and worked back when we were poor? And now that we're poor again, we might want to return to it because you can bring designated funds back in if they were in existence prior to 1961, I think it is. So it was a previously designated fund. Is there enough in there to take care of the maintenance? Does it generate enough income to take care of the maintenance? Do you know? And if you don't know, same thing. An answer back to Representative Gaddis or Wilson would help.
So the cigarette fund, as it stands, a portion of that now is directed to education to reimburse the debt program. And so I do want to clarify on that first schedule for the debt program. For 2015, it's $125 million. That is in the current 2016 budget. The $1,166,000,000, we're not growing to that amount. That's how much debt has been sold, and in 20 years we will pay it off. So the cigarette fund, the portion that has been provided for to pay off construction goes towards the debt reimbursement, and it's approximately $22 million a year. So when the appropriation for general fund is put forward, instead of $125 million, the cigarette tax pays approximately $22 million, and then the state pays with general fund the remainder. So we've really got three appropriations. One is for the debt program that the municipalities use. That's about $125 million a year. That's where the cigarette tax goes. And then we have the construction list for new schools, and we generally don't need to build, the whole list in 1 year. So we have Kivalina at the top and $4 million in the in the budget, and then we have the list for major maintenance. And that is the 6-page list, and there are no dollars for that at this time in the capital budget. And then I would just clarify that the municipalities, the way the law reads, they can use both programs. Those districts that are not in an organized municipality or don't have the capacity, they then cannot use the debt program. They need to get on those school CIP lists.
So basically what you're telling me is that the money that was set aside for school maintenance is also being used by municipalities? Is that correct?
Well, it's being, yes.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. And I think that's all I need to know. Oh, no, the only question you didn't answer is there enough money coming in the revenue stream and cigarette taxes to pay for those capital projects that you have sitting out there?
No, there's $22 million.
There's about $22 million every year coming into the state, and that's what you use and that would basically buy down everything on the share list at the front. Is that correct? Because you said it goes down $20 million a year. But we're on the hook for.
You could go as far as $20 million will go. You could go, if I think the first 6 projects gets you to $21 million. Like I said, it goes towards the debt program. So it's about $22 million to buy school capital needs.
So if the legislator directed the Department of Education to redirect those cigarette taxes wholly into school maintenance, they can pretty much take care of the boilers and the furnaces and the windows and the roofs, and which is what its original intent was, right?
I won't be able to tell you what its original intent was, and I can't tell you that they could do that, but if they could, we can.
It'd be pretty close.
20 million. One year, I think that we spent 175 million on the major maintenance list. So 20 million gets you started.
Yeah, I think it's been averaging about 22 million for the last 10 years. So, yeah, there's always an anomaly out there. Thank you.
So, Elizabeth, a real quick question, just for clarification. I thought I heard you say a portion of the cigarette tax was $22 million. That was did I misunderstand? Is approximately we get $22 million a year from cigarette tax, or is that a portion?
I don't have the answer to that question. I know that education receives about $22 million.
Oh, okay.
Would have to find out if there's any more detail out there around those funds.
Okay, so I did hear you correctly, that a portion of the cigarette tax goes to the schools. Representative Wilson.
So what it really say is the cigarette tax that I know about is $22 million.
I understand.
So was the other answer, if the $22 million isn't used for this list, then it goes to paying off part of the $125 million of bonding?
It goes to pay off part of the $125 million in bonding.
Okay, and has DEED approved any other bonding that would add to this for the next year? Has anybody come forward they're looking for bonds, new ones that aren't on this list?
We may have signed a project agreement. Just having to cut something off somewhere. I hate to say that money's not material, but this is a material informative schedule, but we might have added one. But I think more importantly, the statute provides the parameters of eligibility. And so as long as the bonds are eligible and the projects are eligible, then the department will continue to enter into those project agreements.
Okay, so what agreement might you have signed onto?
I don't know if Kodiak went to their voters with some bonds that might have been about $10 million, and I don't know from October 22nd whether we captured that or not in this schedule. I mean, every day, I just don't know. I mean, if you would like a new, well, I don't know. I don't know. You can provide us an application for debt throughout the year. So if something happened between October 22nd and today, it's possible that I need to add one to the list. But this schedule is informative of the dollars that are out there.
Madam Chair, it wasn't a trick question. I mean, I was just trying to, wrap ourselves around whether or not 125. So if I understand correctly, there's